In this video, I show e-commerce brands how to supercharge their email marketing with copywriting techniques that get more opens, keep attention longer, and convert readers into loyal customers. If your emails aren't getting read or clicked, this strategy will change that. You will learn how to write engaging body, copy, and call to action that drive sales based on proven psychological triggers and modern email best practices. Stick around until the end of this video. I will give you access to a copywriting checklist you could use right away to improve your campaign and boost your revenue. Why email copywriting is your revenue multiplier. The return on investment per dollar. For every dollar spent on email marketing, you get $42 back. 3 times higher conversion compared to social media. 138% more spending from email subscribers versus non-email subscribers. You can increase of 30% revenue share of a total e-commerce revenue from email. The 2025 reality check shows several challenges for email marketers. iOS mail privacy protection affects open rate tracking. Deliverability is harder than ever. AI detection tools, generic templates, and personalization beyond the first name is now expected. Keep these things in mind because as we dive deeper to the future, things can get tougher and harder for us to be able to sell our product due to all these new tools that's coming out. So we have to put in more work to be able to get people to read our copy and to convert them and to get them on our store. The foundation, language as your revenue engine tool. View language as the tool we utilize to guide people's attention from point A to B, but also the tool we utilize to provoke their logic, their emotion, their survival instincts. A person who's able to use language at such a high level is a person who could command attention. It's a person who could get people to do what they want. If you think about politicians, rappers, presidents, people in important position, they need to pay high level attention to the language they utilize because they understand language is what we use to guide someone's mind from point A to B. Your ability to utilize language could make you a lot of money. Your ability to utilize language could get you in a lot of trouble. Think about rappers, preachers, revolutionaries. The way you speak could provoke the government and so on and so forth. This is why understanding language is so important. How to utilize it within our email is important. So we have a war and what you call attention. In this world we live in is all about attention and your ability to garnish attention. Essentially, this is why brands and companies will hire influencers because they understand influencers or people like streamers are able to garnish a lot of attention. If we're able to garnish all this attention, we could provide them with a service, a product, and we could actually convert them. This is why attention is so important in our modern day economy. If you're able to get attention, make money. But to be able to get people attention is going to be extremely hard because a lot of people suffer from ADHD. They can't pay attention. So you have to know how to utilize language to make people pay attention. The modern attention economy, email war, the 11-second email war. Why your message die before it lives. 100 or more emails crash into inbox daily. That's a fact, or even more than that. If you utilize your email every day, your recipient gives you about 11 seconds or less. That's it. Your job isn't just communication, it's survival. The human operates on a brutal timeline. 0.1 second, your emotional gut punch. Love it or kill it. 2 to 8 seconds, your logic kick in. Does this make sense for me? The 11-second, decision made, deleted, defer, or act. So most emails die in the first second. They trigger nothing, they feel like nothing, and become nothing. So that's something we need to pay attention to. The survivors follow a different playbook. So we don't want to follow the same playbook, the same way of writing like most people, generic copies. We don't want to be able to trigger people logical brain, their emotional brain, their survival instincts. So the survivors follow a completely different book. They hijack emotion before logic has a chance to interfere, which is very important because humans were emotional creatures first. A lot of time you think you make a lot of logical decisions such as getting married, buying a house, but all these stem from emotional desires and the need to securitize yourself. Great copywriters that understand first we have to hijack emotion before logic, get you to buy emotionally, then the logic will come after. They satisfy a reason without the boring limbic system. So after we're able to hijack your emotion, now we're able to value more logical reason on why you should buy from our company, why you should pay attention to us. Then they demand action while the window is still open. So they know how to activate your emotion, which you could associate with your subconscious mind. They know how to tackle your logic, your brain, how how you think, what makes sense without it seem boring, and then they know how to demand action out of you while the window's still open. Your reader finger hovers over delete. Your opening line determines whether they scroll away or they lean in. So we want to be really careful and we want to pay attention, because sometimes just based on your subject line, your preview text, that itself could sell them to open your email, and then the body, the design could sell them to take the call to action. And then when they go to a website and they see all the good stuff, then that actually could make them convert. First, you have to have a great opening line. Going to determine whether or not they're gonna scroll away or lean in. Make it count, make it fast, make it impossible to ignore. Because in the attention economy, boring is the only sin that matters. Always keep that in mind. If you could remember anything from this lecture, just remember this: that the attention economy hate being bored, and boredom is a sin there. So you want to make your copy entertaining. You might even use certain language to make a person pay attention and things along this line. This is very important for us to learn and understand how the human mind operates. I really truly believe the more we understand our human psychology, our biology, we could actually utilize these aspects that's wired within us for the last thousand years for our own benefit when it comes to our marketing, our copy. So first, we need to we learn about the reptilian brain. This is something a lot of people know about. Reptilian brain, which is your survival instincts. The role instant decisions, fight or flight, speeds milliseconds. For you to be able to target that aspect of that person brain, you want to use urgency, limited time, only 3 left, safety, guaranteed, risk-free, clear call to action. All these things will activate that person's reptilian brain, the survival instincts. And this happened to me so many times. I will buy a program, and when I read it, they're gonna put something along the line of, oh, this is only for limited time, even though it's not gonna be. Due to them putting it, to you desiring it, you have to take action because you're trying to survive and get in as soon as possible. So they're using your own biology against you. The limbic system, your emotional core. The role is your emotions, memory, and value. Speed 2 to 8 seconds. 2 to 8 seconds. Use in the copy. Use emotional storytelling, social proof, FOMO, status-driven messages. After we're able to activate someone's reptilian brain and get them to realize, oh, this is for limited time, I gotta take action now. Now we could hit them with an emotional story, some social proof, status-driven messaging, just to make them emotionally connect to our copy, to our product, to our brand. 3. Neocortex, the rational mind. Role, logic, analysis, and reasoning. Speed seconds to minutes. Using the copy, provide benefits, specs, comparison, proof, logic. Essentially, this is where the rational mind kicks in, essentially, and you want to appeal to it through providing the benefit, providing the features, basically fill in the gaps for that person or the subscriber logical mind to understand, hey, I'm not just doing this to survive or trying to get in as soon as possible, and I'm not doing this just for emotional reason, I'm doing this for rational reason. And you could see, if you combine all these 3 aspects of a person's brain into your copywriting, you could hit them from multiple angles. Now, this is very important to utilize symbols, visual language. So 4,000 years ago, the ancient Egyptians, the Mayans, and other cultures, they utilized pictography type of script. They did not use letters to describe what's on their mind. They utilized images, owls, hawks, things in nature to describe how they feel internally, because they believe these symbols are able to deliver messages, writing logic words. Instead of writing just I could just put a symbol of an I, and you will understand what I mean immediately, because it will go past your logical brain and go immediately to your emotional brain and get what I'm trying to say. This is why you could see we started with hieroglyphics and we went back to emojis. And think about how people like to use emojis, memes. Why? Because emojis and memes are a way of condensifying information into one symbol. And if we utilize emojis, we could actually deliver a lot of information by saying way less, which is very important, because it's going to allow us to write a copy that is scannable. People scan through our copy and get our message immediately, which is our goal. In marketing, visuals aren't just decoration, they are emotional triggers. They bypass logic, spark feeling, boost recall, and drive action. No explanation needed. From ancient glyphs to modern emojis, symbols have always been powerful tools of communication. Egyptian hieroglyphics like Ankh symbolized eternity or divine power, felt instantly, not read. They were emotional shortcuts to sacred meaning. Mayan glyphs were visual stories, cosmic, cosmic, spiritual, layered. A single symbol could encode a myth, a royalty, a ritual in a glance. So today emojis like the fire symbol, the lock symbol, call to action serve the same function. They trigger recognition, emotion, and behaviors in milliseconds. So this is the anatomy of a revenue generating email. So the most important thing, let's start at the bottom first. This is because this is the base of your pyramid, the subject line. If you don't have a good subject line and a preview text, that most likely will not lead the person to opening your email to read the body, copy, and then eventually go to clear to action. So it's very important for us to use a powerful subject line, something that could grab attention. The preview text will supplement the subject line, give it more context and more information to make the person know what this email about. Then when a person opened the email, it will take him to the opening hook, question, a story, a stat, a problem, and things along this line. Then after that, this is where the most important part comes in. The body, this is the main copy of the email where we explain our points, our benefits, and things like that. So you want to make sure it's scannable, it's conversational, it's action orientated, and needs focus. You don't want to focus on multiple things to confuse the reader. If you have a whey protein product and has 10 benefits, focus on one per email so the person could get the point as soon as possible. And the most important part of the whole pyramid is a clear call to action. You could have an amazing copy, amazing design, but if you have a call to action, then the whole thing went to waste. This is why a lot of people garnish attention, but a lot of times they don't know how to create a good call to action, like join my email list, sign up for that, sign up for this, etc., etc. So this is the psychology of writing a persuasive copy. So this is certain elements you want to include in your copy to actually be able to hit a person from multiple angles, because a person might be looking for one of these things. So the psychology of a persuasive copy. So these are different elements you want to include in your copy. These are things that people look for, and if you include some of them, that will be considered a good copy. But if you're able to include all of them, then you can really write a good, powerful copy that hit a person from multiple angles and activate all aspects of their brain and make them excited to convert and be part of your brand. Social acceptance. Is it popular? Is it trending? Is it the best seller? This is very important. You can sell someone a product, but if it's not socially accepted, they may not buy. So you want to make it look popular, trendy, and a bestseller. Status and recognition. This is very important for people. People buy things just for status and recognition. How does it make them look? Why people buy a Rolex? Why people go into certain areas? Because of the status and the recognition. Can you write a copy that help a person see how this product will help you get to this status and be recognized this way, like a Rolex or owning a Bentley or things like that? Providing security and safety. Can you explain a person why you're safe if you buy this product? What's our guarantee? How you're protected? People love that. Convenience. Is it easy and simple? Is it instant? Absolutely. People love that. People don't like complicated things where you try to word things in a way you yourself look more intelligent. But if it's more easier and simple to understand, people will love that. The simpler the better. Achievement. Can you share achievement, success, accomplishment, win through your product or your brand? People want to see that. People want to see, if I buy this, would I achieve the same result the person achieved? Very important. Curiosity. Can you make people curious about your brand, your copy? Is there secrets that they want to find out? Is there things hidden? Can you reveal things slowly and make them wow? Can you make a person say, I'm still curious about what this brand have to offer? Value. Can you give them free value, bonuses, free things, templates, gift, discounts, and things like that? Also, you want to provide FOMO. Can you make people act immediately? Can you put it in a way that you want to make people act urgent? You want people to know this is your last chance, this is exclusive, this is limited, because when it's not limited, it's not exclusive, people will see it as regular, and people do not really like a regular. People want to be separated, people want to be recognized, people want to be seen different. This is why it's important to say things like it's exclusive, it's limited, it's only for the first 5 people, things like that. It makes people feel special. And you might think, oh, this is manipulative, but in reality, this is how reality works, and these things were used against you and were also used by you, whether you admit it or not. So the pastor framework is the most powerful psychological approach when it comes to writing. First, you want to find the problem, identify the pain, amplify it, make it urgent, share a story, share a relatable narrative, transformation, show the after state, very important, offer a present solution and response a clear call to action. Very simple and straightforward. And here I provided you guys with a ChatGPT prompt for this framework that you guys could include when it comes to writing your own copy for your own email. You could plug this into ChatGPT and test it out. You could put the product name, the target audience, problem, why that problem matters, story, the after state, transformation, offer details, call to action, and the tone and the voice. You can play with this, you'll really enjoy it. So this is some copywriting commandments you want to keep in mind. Know thy customer better than they know themselves. The more you know who you're writing to, the better you'll be able to convert them and target them. If you don't know your customer, then you don't know what to write. Write with thy ears, not thy eyes. So we want to make sure you read your copy aloud and ensure it sounds natural and conversational. Very important. Benefits over features. Always and forever. Customers care about what your product does for them, not what it is. How does this benefit them? They don't care about it's made from that, it came from there, and these things like that. Humans are selfish. They care about themselves. Always remember that. One email, one goal. Never confuse the mission. So you don't want to make the email about multiple things. Make it about one thing. Each email should have a single, clear objective to maximize conversion. And test thy assumption, because data beats opinion. A lot of time we have certain ideas, imagination about the world. We believe the world of a person is such and such, but when we see the reality of it, the data, we realize we're wrong. So always test thy assumption. Let performance metrics guide your strategy, not your personal preference, because humans are always biased. Remember that 81% of the emails are open or mobile, so maintain a mobile first mindset. Your subject line is the gatekeeper. Respect its power. Keep urgency authentic, as false scarcity kills trust. Stories sell better than statistics because humans love narratives. And finally, the unsubscribe button is your friend. Engage less converts better. So this is some different emails that I found online and how we could utilize the framework and the ideas that are provided to improve them. Essentially, the issues with the current copy when it comes to this email, the issue with it is self-focused. The email emphasized the company action, moving, assembly, French heritage, precision, engineering, rather than addressing the customer needs and desire, making it less relatable. People can't relate to your French heritage unless they're from there. People can relate to your engineering skills unless they are engineers themselves. So you want to talk less about you and talk about them and how you benefit them. Second, this email has a lot of features. It highlights features such as expert craftsman, French cycling, heritage, instead of benefits. People don't care about how is the bike made. Like I said earlier, people care how it's gonna benefit them, how it's gonna make them feel. Smoother ride, confidence, eco-friendliness, missing a connection with audience aspiration. So this email has a missing component when it comes to connecting with the audience inspiration. They end up talking so much about who they are, they can't even connect with the customer dreams and things like that. Lack of customer centricity. It doesn't tap to the customer dreams, desire, or how the bike bridges the gaps in their lives. Freedom, convenience, and things like that. Reducing emotion, which is reduce emotional engagement. If this is not about me, why should I emotionally even care? Missed opportunity for structure. The cop lacks a clear framework to address pain points, urgency, transformation, making it less persuasive and action orientated. So suggestion for improvement: focus on the customer dreams and desire. Shift the narrative to how the bike enhanced the customer life. Exploring the city, sustainable living. Create a personal connection with the customer, as opposed to talk about how your customer is made, how it connects to your French heritage and things like that. You wanna use your copy as a way to guide a person's mind and allow a person to see my product is gonna get you to your dreams, to your desires, and things like that. Highlight outcomes like reliability, enjoyment, or faster delivery rather than process. French craftsmanship to align with the customer needs, because a lot of people don't care about the French craftsmanship. They care about how this is going to make me feel. Is it enjoyable? Is it cheap? Is it going to deliver me faster from point A to point B? People going to think I'm cooler on this bike and things like that. So when you use the framework I provided, first the problem, identify the customer pain. Delays, poor bike quality. This is much more important. Maybe they're using a poor bike. Maybe they were using a poor quality bike. Maybe the people they buy from, they take too long to deliver. So you could target these different points. The most important thing. Now amplify the pain point. Heighten the urgency. Lost time, opportunities. Hey, if you couldn't buy this quality bike by the summer, you're gonna miss all those adventures with your friend, your wife, and things like that. You don't want to do that. So you're amplifying the pain point. Now you want to share a relatable narrative where a person had a poor quality bike and he could go on trips with his friends and maybe hike the mountain because his bike quality was so low.
And then you could share how this person, your bike, and this bike actually bridged the gap between where he is, the pain point, and his dream. Now he could ride his bike and he has a big smile on his face. Transformation, show the improved state, seamless rise and premium experience. Transformation, show the improved state, seamless ride, premium experience. So you want to share, you don't want to only share the story, you want to share the transformation from A to B. How does this make this person feel? Is he much more happier, etc., etc. Offer, now you want to give them the offer. You provided the problem and provided the story, the transformation. Now you want to give them the offer, present the solution. Hey, pre-order a high quality cowboy bike right now. And then you could put now the response, provide a clear call to action, ride a cowboy to order, a beautiful call to action. So why this copy is much more better? Because this approach addresses the customer pain point. It builds urgency, relatability, and guides them to a solution, making the email more engaging, persuasive, and effective in driving action. Now these changes, if they apply to this email, would change it from a company-centric announcement into a customer-focused story that resonates and motivates.
Thanks for watching. I hope these copywriting tips help you open more emails, hold attention longer, and convert more customers for your e-commerce brand. Don't forget, I linked the full lectures, notes, plus the email marketing copywriting checklist in the description below, so you can start improving your email marketing today.